Hi, it's the 12th of October 2019. It's a Saturday and the sun is in Libra, and we're building up to a full moon in Aries tomorrow, which will be on Red Lunar Skywalker Day. So tomorrow, with the full moon in Aries, in the UK it will be at 22:07 in the evening, and it's at 20 degrees. It's a blood moon and it's a hunter's moon. And what does that mean? Historically, at this time of year, the hunting and gathering, the fattening of the animals would be a key time in order to store them over the winter time. So in a lot of respects, this energy is connected to a cycle of sacrifice, and that's really key to understand the patterns and the cycles, and then how they all work together, and how we repeat these cycles, in particularly as a human being, and in particularly on the land as well. So once you start to know the pattern primarily of yourself, that's the key. Reveal the mystery in each one of us for ourselves and focus on that, because the more that you start to see the patterns and the cycles and understand your astrology and the astrological patterns, the more that the part of us, the human being part of us that is rooted in fear and doubt, starts to really come into a different space of embodiment of power and knowing and trust and faith. And today, the 8th wave spell, Yellow Human, begins. Yellow Human's planet is planet Earth. It's all about the human being on Earth. And the tribe, the clan of Yellow Human, is Red Earth, White Wind, Blue Hand, and Yellow Human. So if that is your mind sign, know that you are here to mine new tunnels of truth. And at this Libra time, this is a really key time for doing this. Truth, the scales, justice, fairness, balance. So the full moon in Aries tomorrow, which is on Red Lunar Skywalker, is the culmination on one level astrologically of what began at the spring equinox with Aries time. So seeing how I have been out on the land, Aries is the hero and the heroine and the initiator, the fire starter. Seeing how our journey has been this year and how we are feeling, how we are embodying truth. The body does not lie, the mind often does, and will have us doing things that are not good for us simply because they're familiar and keeping us in the comfort zone. So to track back where this is in the Mayan calendar, this was on the 3rd of September we began this particular chapter. So you can see here on the calendar, that's where the little piece of blue tack is today. Tomorrow we go on to a portal day as well, so it's a day of human evolution. And if we track back in the White Castle, right back to here, this was the 3rd of September. So each section of the calendar, we have red, white, blue, yellow and green. Each one of these has 4 wave spells of 13 days, so 52 days in all. And each one is, again, a particular chapter, if you like, a particular process. So we're in the Red Skywalker chapter that began on the 3rd of September. And this is all about understanding that we can be a human being who's doing the Buddha process. That's what the Skywalker human being is all about. And we're all doing that on some level. Some are more consciously doing it than others at this time. And this is what the Wavespell gives you as a guide, should you choose to use it in that way. It gives you a process to follow and a way of being so that you can understand your own personal process along with the planetary process. So this human evolution process is happening whether we are consciously aware of it or not. This is an amazing storyline that's opening now, which is at the time of revelation, the time of the apocalypse, the end of the old ways so that new ones can begin. And so this Red Skywalker process is all about understanding who we are as a human being, our ancestral story, and then going beyond that, so we don't have to keep living that story anymore, because we're fully aware of what the story is in our ancestral DNA, and that we came here at this time to fully embody that DNA and to live it in order to heal it and to end any of that wounding storyline in our family. And that is absolutely the key, becoming a clear sign. So just to go through the process of the Red Skywalker, so we have 13 days of realizing that we are a person who can be empowered and who can shape our destiny by doing the healing work. And how we know where we need to do healing work is where we're experiencing situations that create emotion in us of anything that isn't joy and love. So that begins the process back there. And we have 13 days of that. And then that runs to the next process, which refines that. Each one builds on the other one. White World Bridger is all about what needs to die so that we can live. And so we had 13 days of that. And then we went into transformation. When we go into the blue process in any Wavespell, this is about transformation, where we look at what's happened in the previous two Wavespells, red and white, and then we work to transform them. So we've had 13 days, and that has brought us to Yellow Human. The Blue Storm Wavespell is the catalyst. It's a planetary energy. It's the emotional evolution time for human beings, understanding how emotion embeds in our human being framework, in our brain, in our amygdala, and how we keep reliving the same situations over and over until we become experts on how to release this past trauma and stop reliving it and start to live from this clear space. So I'm going to read you the little storyline around the Aries full moon happening tomorrow on this portal day. So it's a magical day. This website is aquaorfire.net. Aries at 20 degrees, an empty courtyard. Nothing is left, reality is scattered, self obliterated, the familiar rendered irrelevant. Apocalyptical change, personal and collective takeover. No being, only action. You become a projectile of intent, literally identify with what you can do now. a barren wasteland of an inner world, a thrust outside, stark and surreal. You feel compelled to dare, pushed over the edge, no going back, destiny is frenzy. And in this wild, volatile mix, creative forces are released that would never come out any other way. Yielding to the role of the purging and cleansing agent of changes, you are unable to wriggle out of anything ever again. So it's a really powerful full moon on this red lunar Skywalker day tomorrow. And day 2 in any Wavespell is the new learning. It's what's been hidden coming to light since we began that journey back on the 3rd of September. So revelations are coming in, being disciplined. Who am I? Who do I want to be? Letting go of the old story and redefining who I am is the key now. It's an amazing time to be in this adventure and really start to work with this conscious intent, because there is no keeping hold of the old human being story now. It's time for it to be changed, time for it to be rewired. And so that's what we're going to be experiencing. In the next 13 days, we're going to be seeing the manifestation of who we are. So today, again, what has this initiated for you? What have you been experiencing? This is part of my tribe, Yellow Human. And so I can work out my codes around when this was for me, when I experienced this. And also today, the synchronicity of I have a person who lives in my house who's a Yellow Human, and I bumped into somebody in town who I haven't seen for a long time, again, who is a Yellow Human. So just really relaxing into the divine plan more and more. And wherever we're not experiencing that feeling of connection and allowing and accepting, noticing what that is about for us in our human being story. So again, today it's taking stock really of how the day has unfolded for you. I woke up feeling tired, and so my journey since 3rd of September has been back in the dynamic of work in the UK a lot of the time and working around a particular schedule. And that has got bigger and bigger and bigger in a lot of ways as well. And, noticing how that makes me feel being in a particular framework and being in a particular discipline, and what effect that has on me on a mental level and on an embodiment level, how it affects me physically, for example. So then noticing the connections that I've had today, and I've had lovely connections again in California with my partner and a new friend that I made last time I was there. And so that's been really magical as well. Life is an adventure, and we're here to live this hero and heroine story. And the more that we get clear of the ancestral story and the drama and the lower vibe experiences, then the more we can free up that space to literally live a different life, because we are creating new mindsets for ourselves. And just to say, that with all of this numerology as well, you can really look into the pattern of 13 and the shift that it creates. The framework of the Gregorian calendar keeps us stuck in so many ways of being out of alignment with synchronicities. Once we really start to align with this framework, we can see the magic of the universe, how it is already coded and written, and how the more that we start to really align with it, the more we understand it, the more we understand ourselves, and the whole thing together is just this magic alchemy. We're in alchemy moon right now. We're on day 23 of it today. So we've only got 5 more days, then we'll be going into self-existing moon. And we'll be able to see then just exactly where we're at as to self-existing, and whether we can stand on our own 2 feet, whether we need anything, or we need anybody, or we need a fix. This is all really, really key to becoming emotionally free and an independent human being who is creating a new way of being. Of course, it will take time, this system. We're only just beginning to work with it, and remembering who we really are and supporting each other with that process as well. So if you'd like to know more, please do get in touch with me. I have lots of info on my website, which is flowwithjo.com. If you want to know more about getting emotionally free, check out emofree.com as well and learn about emotional freedom technique. If you want to do that with me, please do get in touch. If you want to know more about your Mayan codes or your astrology codes and how to work with them at this time, then again, please get in touch. Lots of love and see you soon.